Next topic, let's now talk about the MTRCB. First, how was MTRCB created? It was actually created by law, which is the Presidential Decree number 1986, which created the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board, or MTRCB. And this was created or passed during the presidency of former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. The MTRCB are composed of a chairman, a vice chairman, and 30 members who shall be appointed by the President of the Philippines. So in effect, class, MTRCB is an agency of the government that is under the control and supervision of the President of the Philippines, being the executive or the chief executive of the entire government of the Philippines. The chairman and the vice chairman and the members of the board shall hold an office for a term of 1 year unless removed by the president earlier for any cause. So therefore, it's subject to the pleasure of the president if whether or not the appointee for the MTRCB positions will still remain throughout the 1 year span given to them by law, provided that they shall be eligible for reappointment after the expiration of the term. So after 1 year, kung gusto pa rin ng president na sila yung maupo, then they will be reappointed again by the president. If the chairman or the vice chairman or any member of the board will fail to complete his term, any person may be appointed for the vacancy, but yung pag-upo niya for the vacancy, he will just continue the remaining number of months. Meaning to say, hindi 1 year automatic kung na-renew siya for a vacancy. Itutuloy lang niya kung ano yung natirang araw o months noong pinalitan niya for that vacancy or vacant position. So now, let's go to the gist of the discussion. Ano ba yung function ng MTRCB? Okay? Ito yung mga napapanood ninyo ng mga sort of warnings sa mga shows sa TV na pinapalabas. And not only in TV, even in the movie industry. So the MTRCB is actually a regulatory body. Regulatory meaning it oversees a particular industry, and whatever error, mistake, or lapses that the industry or one of the practitioners in the industry is doing, the MTRCB will notify that person or entity, give him a warning, fine him if needed, in order to correct the error, mistake, or lapses that that entity or person has committed. What's the purpose? For the betterment of the industry being regulated. For example, here, the media industry, our concern for your subject, ang gusto ng MTRCB ay magkaroon ng media industry na ethical, hindi nakakabastos sa mga taong nanonood, hindi nagtuturo ng mga maling asal sa mga nanonood, lalong-lalo na sa mga bata. At isang media industry na patas sa lahat-lahat ng tao, mayaman man o mahirap. At kung merong lalabag ng mga yon, papasok ang MTRCB para i-correct yung paglabag na yon at panagutan at o pananagutin kung sino man yung nagkasala. Okay? Sa mga panukala na yon ng media industry natin. As a regulatory body, the MTRCB will review and classify motion pictures. Eto na, dito na papasok yung mga classifications. We will deal on this more specifically later on. But they will review and classify shows, movies man yan, o TV o sa radyo. And they will initiate plans and cooperate with the industry to improve, upgrade, and make it viable as an important component of the national economy. Diba? You see how the media industry is not only for the purpose of entertaining us, but actually it is a very important tool in order for our economy, national economy, to thrive better. Again, be reminded of the success of the K-drama industry. Okay? Sana ganun rin yung maging effect kung hindi pa man natin yun nararating sa ating bansa in the future. So, let's talk on the specific functions. Sinabi ko kanina, to screen, review, and examine motion pictures, television programs, advertisements, trailers, and others. Okay? What's the purpose? In order to make sure na yung mga ipapalabas, yun nga, hindi nakakabastos, hindi nakaka-discriminate, any other negative effect, hindi nangyayari sa mata ng mga publiko. Also, to classify these motion pictures, TV programs, and others na ipinapalabas o ipinaparinig sa atin. At dito na nga po papasok sila G for generated patronage, or general patronage, meaning all ages, mapabata, matanda, pwedeng panoorin. G. Next, P for parental guidance suggested, o PG. Okay? Parental guidance. Kailangan kasama ng minor, kung minor yung nanonood, yung kanyang parent habang pinapanood yung show para magabayan siya kung ano man yung makikita niya doon sa show na yon. R for or restricted. You know this particularly as SPG. Okay? Mga for adults only. Okay? Or meron ring mga R18, R16, R13, big sabihin for specific ages lang. And also, we have this another one, hindi nyo to gano naririnig siguro, pero not for public viewing. Bakit hindi nyo naririnig? Kasi nga, hindi yan pinapalabas sa publiko. Meaning to say, hindi nakalusot sa standards ni MTRCB, kaya it does not see the light of the day. Hindi siya naipalabas. TV man yan o sa cinema. And, hindi lang po GPR or not for public viewing, pwede pang gumawa ng MTRCB ng other ratings that it deems beneficial for the public interest. Kaya meron tayong mga SPG, PG, and others. Other specific function of MTRCB, to approve or disapprove or delete objectionable portions and even prohibit the importation, exportation, production, copying, etc. of such shows or motion pictures. Ginawa man yan dito sa Pilipinas o outside of the Philippines, as long as in the judgment of MTRCB, they are violative of the contemporary Filipino cultural values or standards. Ibig sabihin, sa mata ng isang Pilipino, immoral itong palabas na to, indecent, contrary sa ating batas, sa ating good customs, nakakasira ito sa ating pagiging Pilipino, and so on and so forth. For example, itong show na to, which I am a fan of, since I am also playing the video game of this show, Uncharted. It was actually banned to be shown here in the Philippines sa mga cinema natin. Why? Because there is a portion of the show na ipinakita sa mapa, doon sa mapa na ipinakita sa show na yon, nandoon po makikita yung 9-dash line na claim ng China, na rason ng China na kanila daw yung West Philippine Sea, the entirety of the West Philippine Sea. That is contrary to our national interest. And by showing that to the Philippine people, to the Filipino people, it is as if saying na we agree to the 9-dash line, which in fact we do not. Because if we believe in that 9-dash line of China, then we are now saying na sa kanila yung West Philippine Sea, which is a big no-no. Okay? Well, nakakatawa, hindi naman crucial sa plot ng movie yung 9 dash line na yun. As if just a short number of seconds, hindi naman crucial sa plot, pero yun nga, since very obvious siya doon sa screen, even in that very short amount of seconds, still pinagbawal ng MTRCB because that. Okay? Again hindi lang sinensor, hindi lang tinangkinat yung portion na yon, yung buong movie talaga yung ipinagbawal na ipalabas sa mga cinema natin. Other specific function, magpapasara, okay? Power na magpasara ng mga movie houses or other similar establishments like a TV program, a TV segment. For example, this one, a show called Private Convos with Doc Rica. Kasi ang topic dyan ay mga intimate sexual activities of people, mga sexual experiences. And according to MTRCB, it violates provisions of the broadcast media for being indecent. Okay, kaya pinagbawal yang o pinasara na yung TV show na yan. Okay? Also, to cause the prosecution on behalf of the people of the Philippines of violators of the law on obscenity, censorship, and others. Okay? Search online kung ano na yung progress ng issue on Vice Ganda and Ayon, kasi kinasuhan sila of being indecent on live TV doon sa pagkain ng cake. This is an ongoing case, so I will not dwell much on this because of the sub judice rule. Pero for purposes of this class, I will inform you na this is one example of prosecuting a case on behalf of the people of the Philippines by reason of broadcast media segments. And the last specific function of MTRCB is to exercise any other power of or function that is necessary or incidental for it to accomplish its purpose. This is the catch-all provision na pwedeng i-invoke ng MTRCB kung meron man silang gagawin na wala pa sa current rules ng MTRCB rules and regulations. Okay? So that's all about MTRCB, and this time let's proceed to the kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. The KBP is all about self-regulation. Ano ang self-regulation? This is the practice of an industry to monitor, regulate, and discipline its members. So in the entire media industry or mass media industry, yung mga practitioners, for example, news anchors, reporters, DJs, and the likes, kung sila ay lalabag sa mga rules, for example, doon sa rules sa broadcast media, yung mga nagmumura ng mga DJ sa radyo, the first one that will act on the complaint about this violator is not really the courts. Wag muna sa korte. Hindi rin sa mga example DOJ, Department of Justice, no. Wag mo nang pumunta doon. Papasok muna si KBP as the disciplining and regulating body of all the mass media practitioners. And that's what you call self-regulation. Bago pa man mapunta sa ibang agency, within muna sa agency o industry na involved. Mass media industry. And it will be the KBP that will head that discipline or disciplining authority. So the KBP in the mass media industry, media practitioners have set and organized themselves and promulgated a set of internal rules. So the KBP is actually a collaborative endeavor between all media practitioners in the Philippines. And they, as if they form a contract na, sige, gawa tayo ng organisasyon, at itong organisasyon na ito yung magsisilbi na police natin, na kung sa sino man yung mga lalabag sa mga rules That's like the broadcast code and the journalism code. Sila yung lilitis sa mga violators at sila yung mag-iimbestiga kung may mga mairereklamo na nag-violate sa mga rules na iyon. Okay? So who composes the membership of the KBP? It actually consists of the owners and operators of the radio and television stations. But they have two types of members. First, our regular members who are actually the owners and operators themselves, and the associate members who are the radio and television stations themselves. The entity, example, GMA Corporation, ABS-CBN Corporation themselves. Okay? So the broadcast and the owners and operators of the media of these radio and television stations, they are the ones who will have the responsibility of imposing discipline to their employees, news anchors, news writers, script writers, DJs, and other employees. As the heads, being the owners and operators of these stations, they are the ones who must have the responsibility to make sure that the broadcast and the journalist code are being observed by their delegates, by their employees, and the practitioners who are acting on their behalf. Okay? So what's the purpose of the KBP? It is to promote social responsibility in broadcasting, work for the advancement of the broadcast industry, and protect the right and interests of broadcasters. So at present, self-regulation in the Philippines of professionals just like mass media practitioners, broadcasters, journalists is still in its infantile stage, batang-bata pa, as compared with other foreign counterparts like the US, in Britain, for example, na matagal nang well-established yung mga self-regulating rules and regulations nila doon. It should be noted that while said industries or professions enjoy a modicum of self-regulation, government regulation mechanisms are still in place. Okay? Okay, meron ngang self-regulating rules ang mga media practitioners natin, but they are still subject to the laws of the government where they are in. For example, our revised penal code, particularly the rules or the law on libel and cyber libel, cybercrime, they are still subject to these laws. Okay? Thus, historically, we tend to see a pendulum effect. Okay? A pendulum effect. Paiba-iba ng direction, for example, of the self-regulation on one hand by the KBP and the government and the intervention on the other hand. Needless to say, while there is considerably a tug of war between these two mechanisms, still, the end game or the end result is that to maintain professionalism. Okay? Na hindi bara-bara ang pagiging media practitioner, ang pagiging journalist, broadcaster. Hindi parang nakikipag-away ka lang sa kalye, nakikipagsiraan sa mga kaaway mo. No. All practitioners in the media industry must always observe professionalism. Sumusunod ka man sa batas ng KBP mismo, sa rules ng KBP mismo, o kahit you never mind it, but you still follow the rules of the Republic of the Philippines, particularly its laws, you will still be guided to become a decent professional in your field, particularly in the media industry. Okay. So that's all about the KBP. Next, safety and protection of media practitioners, our very last segment for this topic. Now that you know the rules to be observed by professionals in the mass media industry, you must also take note of the accompanying danger that are present and looming behind you as you practice in this industry. The life of a media practitioner is far from being simple and routine. Dangerous po siya. You will hear headlines like this: journalist murdered during live broadcast. Journalist killed because of a previous article or documentary that he published. In fact, there have been reported instances where journalists have been victims of harassment and bodily harm. Naa-abduct sila, napapatay po sila. Such incidents highlight the ever-present danger that media practitioners face in the performance of their chosen vocation and profession. As harbingers of truth, they may often run against, ito yung mga kalaban po ninyo, organized crime, dirty politicians. In some cases, they are caught in the middle of an armed encounter. To highlight more on this, we have the incident, a very dark chapter in the history of Philippine journalism, the Maguindanao Massacre. Warning on the next slides, it contains graphic contents. The Maguindanao Massacre is one such example, and this unfortunate incident shocked not only the entire Philippines but the entirety of the globe, not only because of its political reasons but because of the number of journalists who were killed. Ang dami pong journalists, in one incident, pinatay po sila. After killing them, ibinaon po sa lupa hindi lang yung katawan nila, but even the vehicles they rode in. Because what happened is an ambush. In-ambush po sila in the middle of nowhere, in Maguindanao, and they were killed right there and then. In one article, it was reported, and it is actually an international news agency. It reported that this is one of the 10 deadliest, or the Philippines is one of the deadliest countries for journalists. Imagine that. Mabibigyan na nga ng title ang Pilipinas. Ito pa yung naibigay sa atin. Oh my God. Because of this one incident. Also, according to a Rappler report way back in 2019, the Philippines was ranked as the 4th worst country in unsolved media murders. There have been 77 journalists killed in the country since 1992. Ano yung mga rason ng mga killings na ito? Political, terrorism, or simply criminal activity? Petty crimes. To date, the country's law enforcement agencies are still finding ways para masolusyonan yung mga killings and crimes na ito connected to the media industry. A very sad reality that we are facing right now here in the Philippines. So, the media industry, which is considered as the fourth estate in our country's political development, because if you already had your pol sci subject, we are taught that there are three main branches of the government: the executive, legislative, and judicial department. But do not forget that there is a fourth very important branch, and that is the mass media. Because the mass media serves as the watchdog, ang tagapagbantay ng bawat kilos na ginagawa ng tatlong main branches. That's why it's called the fourth estate in our political development. So mass media today has evolved into its current role of seeking the truth behind every event, behind every statement, behind every development. The media industry boldly shines as a penetrating light into every nook and cranny with the sole purpose of bringing to light the true nature of things for everyone to see and to judge. This mass media industry is our weapon in order to observe every happenings in our country and to guide us in our personal decisions. In its unenviable role of truth seeker, the mass media will necessarily attract enemies. The very danger of being a journalist, a broadcaster, a media practitioner in general. Enemies who have been at the other end of media's unflattering light of discovery and inquiry. Enemies who would utilize every means possible to evade, distract, manipulate, and suppress the truth by attempting to muzzle and blind inquisitive media, even to the extent of inflicting bodily harm, just like resorting to murder, kidnapping, massacre, and the likes. So my question to you, class, are you still willing to pursue this profession, to become a mass media practitioner, despite knowing all of this? May mga rules na nga na sinusunod, may mga organizations na nga na nagbabantay sa atin, tapos may mga masasagasaan pa tayo ng mga powerful people just for the purpose of seeking what we love to do. So again, my question, are you still willing to pursue this profession? Well, I expect and I hope that your answer will still be yes, because we need more journalists, more broadcasters, more media practitioners. Why? For the purpose of bringing the truth, if not the truth, but to give important information to the public to guide all of us in our individual and social lives. So my concluding words for you, class, is just be strong, because things will get better. It may be stormy now, but it never rains forever. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something from this recorded lecture. Maraming salamat po.